Okay, so if you remember, we have discussed read and complete module. Then we have discussed and explained read and select. After that, we have finished talking about listen and select. Then listen and type. After that, read aloud. Now I think we have to start discussing this module, which is read about the photo. So let me zoom the page out and let's start discussing this module. So this is it. This is write about the photo. Now the directions I have to remember, write about the photo asks you to write one or more sentences that describe the image. So an image should be shown next to you and in front of you, and absolutely you have to now write maybe one sentence, or you can write two sentences just to describe this photo. So for this question type, you will see an image on the screen and you will write a description of this image. The directions for this question will appear when the time begins. So,
Okay.
oh, bravo. Keep in mind that please you have only 1 minute to describe the image. Why? Because I have to write only one sentence or maybe more sentences that describe the image. Keep in mind, please, Malik, that it's really better just to write more than one sentence because this is description, and try to be descriptive by writing more than one sentence, and you have to give enough details. Don't worry, because the 1 minute is really enough just to describe the image in details.
Okay.
Now, exactly. Now, let's talk about the tips you have to remember while doing this module. Now, try to go beyond simple labeling and describing the image in detail. So please, absolutely, I have to be creative. I have to be descriptive in describing the image. The directions ask you for one complete sentence, but as I told you, try to write more than one, please, as a longer response can help demonstrate more of your skills. So I know that it is written that you have to write only one um, sentence or more. So absolutely, I have to write more than one sentence just to be that creative, and absolutely just to get a good band. Now, you will you will be able to see the image as you write your response. Now I have to use my mouse or trackpad to scroll back through your response if you need to check it for spelling and grammar mistakes, if any. So this is right about the image. Now let me show you the most important tips and strategies you need to know just to be able to write the best description about this module. So this is it, right about the photo, and absolutely we have only 1 minute just to describe the image.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so as I told you, this is an example about describing the image. So this is the image that is going to be shown on your screen, and I have to write one or more sentences that describe the image, and absolutely I have to write my sentence or sentences here in the blank, and absolutely when I finish, I have to press next, and don't forget that you have only 1 minute to describe the image. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what are the key points that I really need just to be able to get a good band while writing the description about this image or about any image that is going to be shown on my screen? So as I told you, I have only 1 minute to complete this task. I must write at least one sentence, and absolutely it's better to write more. And I have to write full sentences. Please don't write phrases, don't write missing sentences. All the sentences should be complete. I'm talking about the parts of a speech, and absolutely the meaning should be complete. So please don't create any misunderstanding, because absolutely this is completely wrong. Now let's talk about the tips that I have to know. Okay, now Tip number one, in describing the image, I have to learn how to use introductory statements. Absolutely, in anything, Malak, not only in writing, in speaking, in writing, I have to, let me say or maybe write an introduction. Absolutely, not a complete introduction as we are writing a certain essay, but a small introduction just to tell the reader that I'm trying to introduce you to just get you ready to the description that I'm writing. So try the best to memorize these statements and to practice typing them out quickly. So try the best to practice writing these introductory statements because absolutely I have to start with them. I cannot immediately go into details because this is something absolutely wrong. So if you want to start your description, you can say, this is a picture of, and now you can start describing the image. This picture
Okay.
shows, or maybe this picture expresses, or this image depicts. Or maybe you want to say or write, in this photograph or image, there is or there are, and now you can start describing the image. Don't forget that there is for singular nouns, and absolutely there are for plural.
Doesn't matter if we use image or picture, it's
Yeah,
the
and
same meaning.
it is the same. Okay?
Okay.
But don't write pick. Um, some students
Sure.
asked me, can I write, for example, pick? Please don't use
Mm,
abbreviations. You,
mm,
yeah, this is formal exam.
mm.
I don't have to be informal. Okay, so this is an example about this image. Now let me show you the best description and the best introductory statements I have to write concerning this image. Now the examples that are shown, I can say, for example, this is a picture of, this is the introductory element, okay, a woman shopping in a supermarket. So
Mm.
notice that the phrase that is written
Correct.
yeah, this is an introductory statement, so I have to start my description like this. Or I can say, this image or picture shows or expresses or depicts, as we noticed, a woman shopping for fruit in a supermarket
Mm.
because all I can see, to be
Mm.
honest, is a fruit.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Mm.
So this is why I want to say fruit.
Okay.
Okay. Now, absolutely, tip number two, I have to be descriptive. I have to be descriptive as much as I can because this is extremely important. Now, how can you be descriptive? I have to write about the actions of the person or main subject in the image. So, this is the most important thing. Absolutely, I have to write or describe the actions that person in the image maybe is doing absolutely in this picture. Now, absolutely, I have to use action verbs and action adverbs.
Mm.
For
Okay.
example, yeah, for example, like run, play, drink, eat, talk, for example, walk. So all these verbs are action verbs because absolutely they are talking about movement. Now, to
Okay.
describe the objects or maybe people. A3, I have to
How
write,
how
yeah,
action adverbs?
action
What
adverbs.
do you mean by action
All
adverbs?
the adverbs that denote to movement.
Okay.
Okay, absolutely. We have a certain example. After this image, I'm going to show you that example just to be able to understand the meaning of action verbs and action adverbs.
Okay.
Now I have to write about the location of the things in the image. And absolutely, I have to use prepositional phrases like next to and on and to the left, to the right, because this is description. Absolutely, you have to describe what is on the right, what is on the left, what is up, what is down, what is beneath, for example, around the person, for example. Okay,
Okay.
so this is an example about the directions or maybe the details that I have to write about this image. So what is in the image and where is it positioned? So this is it, what and where. Keep in mind that these are the directions, for example, that I have to mention. Now, on the top, we have this and this, or above that, this is at the top, or to the left, to the right, in the center, in the middle of things, in the corner, for example, if we have corners, at the bottom of the picture, under, beneath, underneath, below, up, down, near. Okay?
Okay.
Now the next picture. Okay. Now let's try to check this example about describing the same image. Now, absolutely, I have to say as an introductory statement, this picture, or this is a picture of a young woman
Mm,
shopping for fruit in a supermarket. She is looking down. This is the first action.
okay.
This is the first action verb. And this is the direction that I have. She's looking down at the large pile of ripe pineapples. To her left, okay, and thinking hard about whether to buy one or maybe not. Okay? We
Mm,
can notice that this girl is looking at the pineapples and she's thinking just to buy maybe one piece or more than one piece, or maybe she doesn't want to buy
yeah, to
any
buy something.
pineapples at all.
Mm,
Okay, now let me show you the next page, which is talking about tip three. Now, tip three, I have to make a guess or prediction. Absolutely, because some students told me that is it I mean, what if I want to write my guess? Maybe my guess is not correct. I know that sometimes maybe you want to write something, or maybe another student wants to write something else. For example, let's imagine that you want to describe this image by saying, this lady or this girl wants to buy a pineapple, for example, and other students want to write that this girl doesn't want to buy, she's just looking, and maybe she's looking for something else, another kind of a fruit or something like that. Both answers are correct. Why? Because I'm guessing. Okay?
okay.
Okay, now let's talk about this is step three. And just to write your guess or prediction, I have to say, it seems like, or it looks like, I'm not sure. I guess that she is trying to buy a pineapple or something like that. I guess she's looking for something which is in the fruit section. And as I told you, I think. So it seems, it looks, I guess, I think, I suggest. Now, absolutely, the modal verbs are extremely important in using and yes, I have to use them in writing my description. All the modal verbs are important, not only might, may, must, could. Absolutely, I have to write will, I have to write can, could, I have to write might. So all the modal verbs and even the semi-modal verbs are really important in writing my description. So let me try to show you this example about my guess. I can say that it seems that she is going to buy one of the pineapples. So I'm not sure because I cannot see her hand, for example, uh, catching a certain pineapple. So I'm not sure. Or I can say, I guess she won't buy a pineapple this time. So notice that the first guess, I said she is going to buy, I think, I guess. And next one, I want to say, I guess she will not buy a pineapple. So notice that they are the opposite. So both answers are correct because don't forget that I'm writing my guessing. I'm not sure. The picture doesn't show exactly that or if she wants to buy or maybe not. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
I can say, for example, I think she's having a hard time choosing the best pineapple to buy. So this is it by making a guess or maybe prediction. Now, tip number four is saying I have to check my spelling and pronunciation. Absolutely, this is writing, not pronunciation, sorry, punctuation.
Punctuation. Mm,
Yeah, this is writing. Absolutely. All the punctuation marks are really important. And you have to practice writing the vocab sorry correctly. Because keep in mind that if you want to write a certain word in a wrong way and that word has a new meaning, absolutely the correct is going to consider it as a mistake. Okay?
Okay.
So, about spelling and punctuation, simple punctuation rules. I have to always start a sentence with a capital letter. This is extremely important. I have to end my sentence with a full stop, for example, all the question marks or exclamation marks. We cannot deny that all the punctuation marks in English are really important because you have to be academic in writing and absolutely you have to use
Absolutely.
them correctly. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
And we have already discussed the punctuation marks. So this is an example about using the comma. For example, use a comma to separate series, three or more of nouns,
Works.
adjectives, or maybe verbs. We have discussed this in describing the comma. And this is rule number one, if you remember, if you have a list, absolutely, I have to separate them using commas because the example he is saying the woman is buying pineapples, comma, apples, comma, and bananas. And I told you that this comma is optional, but this comma is obligatory. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to lose my time in explaining something I have already explained. So this is it. Okay. And we are still talking about punctuation marks. Don't forget that if you want to use one of the fanboys, you have to write a comma before before these conjunctions. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So keep in mind that these conjunctions are used to connect words,
I think
phrases.
it's after the
What?
fanboys,
What? After or before?
comma.
Yes, but I have to use it. Should I use it after the conjunction or before it?
After, so,
Come
right?
on, Malak, before it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I have to write it here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
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 I want to buy some apples and my friend wants to buy some orange. Okay.
Okay.
So please be careful. Okay, so I have to put a comma before the farm boys when they are connecting two independent clauses. Don't forget that because the farm boys are only to join two independent clauses. Because if you want to use, for example, one dependent clause and other one independent clause, you cannot use farm boys. You have to use one of the conjunctions like although, because, otherwise, though. Okay?
Okay.
So independent clauses usually have their own subject. All the time, please. I have to say that all the dependent clauses are complete clauses. I mean, they have the subject, the object, and the verb, and absolutely the meaning is complete. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now, let's try to we have a quick and easy example. Which sentence, Holy God? Okay, now let's try to discuss this quick and easy example. Which sentence needs a comma? She wore a blue dress, but nothing else. Or she wore a blue dress, but she didn't wear anything else.
The second one between
Exactly.
dress and but.
Yes, exactly. So this is the conjunction because this is independent clause. This is
And
independent clause.
and the
Absolutely.
clause.
Here I have the subject and here I have the subject.
Mm.
Here we have the verb. Here we have the verb didn't wear. Here we have the object. Here we have anything else, the object or the rest of the sentence. So both clauses um, have a complete meaning. So this is why this is called a conjunction.
It's a
So
good.
exactly. So this but is not a conjunction. I don't have to write any comma. Please be careful.
Okay.
Okay, now the next page. This is it, as I told you. She didn't wear anything else. This is the independent clause. Absolutely. Now, but is a conjunction. And notice that she is the subject. So I have to write a comma. Now, tip number 5 is saying leave time to check for errors. Please, this is extremely important. Even me, Malak, sometimes if I want to write any piece of writing, after I finish writing this piece of writing, I revise my writing. If you want
Mm.
to ask me why, because all of us, I'm talking now about human beings, all of us, if we want to write something, we focus on ideas. We don't focus on the grammar or maybe spelling. After I finish writing, I have to check the mistakes because our brain, Malak, can focus only on one mission. Our brain cannot focus on grammar and ideas at the same time. So while writing, your brain is focusing on the ideas, but sometimes it is hard uh, um, just to focus on the spelling or maybe punctuation or even grammar mistakes. When you finish, please, you have to leave a certain time. You have to leave some seconds just to check your writing, if because maybe you commit some mistakes. Okay?
Okay.
Please, please, this is really important. Okay.
Okay.
Now, let me show you some examples about describing certain images. Let's talk about this image. Now, describe this picture in describe this picture. Let's try to describe this picture just to show you the best description about this image. Now, this is the example answer. I have to say, this is a picture of, this is the introductory element, a
Mm.
young woman shopping in a supermarket. Okay, she is looking down. This is the action verb. At the large pile, this is an adjective. Of ripe, this is another adjective. Pineapples to her left, these are what I meant by directions. Left, right, up, down, beneath, near. And thinking, wait,
Yes.
close this window. Okay, and thinking hard. This is an adverb about whether to buy one or maybe not. She might, this is my suggestion, this is my guess. She might
Mm.
be having a hard time making up her mind. So notice that I didn't write only one sentence. This is really important. I wrote 47 words. And believe me, Malak, because some students told me that, teacher, please, I only have 1 minute. I cannot write more than one sentence. This is wrong. The 1 minute is enough to write 4 and 5 sentences. And even you still have time just to check and revise your writing.
Okay.
Okay?
But one sentence, it's not enough.
It's to
Is
be
it enough?
honest, no, it isn't. If you want to be that a professional, or let me say that if you want to get better score, you have to write more than one sentence. This is description. I
Mm.
mean, if
Okay.
you, yes, because the meaning of description, Malik, is to give what? To give enough details about something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you have 1 minute, please. 1 minute is really enough. Okay?
Mm.
Okay. Now, again, let's talk about this example. Let's describe this picture and try to give the best description. Now, I know that we will practice, don't worry. But let me show you now the best descriptions. Absolutely. After that, I'm going to give you on time just to describe some pictures because I have some examples. Okay. Now, let me show you again the best description about this picture. So I have to say, this is an image of. This is an introductory element. So this is an image of what? Of whom? A man writing in a notepad with a yellow pen. So keep in mind, please, Malak, if you want to be descriptive, if you want to be creative, you have to be um, creative. I mean, you have to give vivid description. Vivid is just to, do you know the meaning of vivid?
More information
And
or
to make the picture alive, vivid.
okay.
Now, yes, to make the reader feels, to make the reader really try just to have that feeling of the image, to feel it. Okay. Now, if you want to do so, I mean, if you want to make your description just as vivid as you can, you have to give colors. So notice that I didn't say that For example, a man writing in a notepad with only a pen, but I decided the color of the
I
pen.
call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to decide the color of the shirt, the color of the table, for example. Okay?
Mm.
So absolutely,
Okay.
this word is extremely important, just as I told you, to make your description alive. And even for the reader to feel your description, this is extremely important. So there is, don't, please be careful about the using of there is and there are, because there is talking about the singular nouns and there are is talking about the plural nouns. And sometimes, let me say that some students commit mistakes by using them because in writing there is and there are, notice that the noun precedes the verb. I may notice that I mentioned the verb, then I mentioned what? The noun. If you want to write any normal sentence, Malak, you have to mention the noun first. For example, the laptop is good, or the laptop is red, or the laptop is blue. So notice that I mentioned the laptop, and because the laptop is singular, I said is.
Okay.
But be careful when using there is and there are, please, because as I told you, because the noun precedes the verb, sometimes I commit mistakes. So please think about the noun, then you have to think about the verb in using there is and there are, okay?
Okay.
So there is a laptop directly or directly in front of him, comma, which I haven't finished talking yet, which he is probably using it or using for work. Full stop. I want to start describing something new. I guess this is the guess or prediction. He is
Mm.
in the middle of an online conference meeting. The meaning of conference is meeting call because he is talking detailed, because he is taking, sorry, detailed notes. So notice that the description again is what? 49 words.
Words.
And the past or the previous description was about what? 47 words. So this is the
Mm.
best description. Please, I don't have only to write one word. This is not a grade 5 or grade 6. If you want to be more professional and absolutely if you want to get a better score or band, you have to be creative.
Okay, so I have to describe not just a person. Can I describe uh, the
Mm,
material with the
exactly.
person? So,
Exactly.
okay.
So notice that I mentioned what? I mentioned the note. This is it. I mentioned the
Fan,
pen.
laptop.
This is it.
Yeah.
I mentioned the laptop. If you want to mention the table, it is correct.
And his shirt, for example, right?
Yes,
The
exactly.
color of his.
Yes,
Okay.
because you can know that because he is wearing a shirt, he is in a meeting or he is at work or something like that. He's not wearing
Yeah.
a pajama, for example.
Okay.
Okay? Or t-shirt, for example. So this is why I can guess that he is at work. He is in a meeting, for example. Or maybe he's waiting for a meeting or he's waiting for people just to meet them because he is writing, I think, something important for the
Mm.
meeting, for something important concerning work. Okay?
Okay.
So this is it. This is now everything about write about the photo or the image. Now I think it's the time to practice. Do you have
Okay.
any questions before we start practicing?
No.
Okay, so now please, now I will disconnect the meeting and come back again. But I need you to prepare your answer. Or maybe I need you to prepare, sorry, your paper or and pencil, or you can write your answer in the chat box. Then I can check this out. I think
Okay.
this, yes, it's well, I
It's
think
fine.
this is better
Yeah.
because in the final exam you have to use your keyboard, you have to type. You will not be able to use or to write your description on a piece of paper. So I think it's better to write your description in the chat box.
Okay.
Okay, so let's meet again, and I'm waiting for you.
Okay.